Today, we'll update some textures and we'll discuss motion blur. And we start out the same way as always, apparently now, with a blank storyboard. I'm realizing my storyboards seem to be more like a list of shots. But anyway, another blank one, describing it as the girl devastated as the truck drives away. So let's just jump into the shot. So let's just jump in and watch the shot. It's exactly the same as when the dad drives away, only under very different circumstances. All right, let's step through it. I'll go into some of the lighting and some of the other stuff I did with the clothing, but some of the stuff you can really only see here on this shot is one of the reflections in the window as he drives off and the motion blur, which I haven't really talked about a lot. I've become a big fan of motion blur and a shallow depth of field for my work. So let's step through this. The car drives off, and as you can see here, his face is blurred because there's a little side window there, so we're seeing through glass and not through glass. I really like that. Talk about the duality of the boy. Seems nice, but it is a complete jerk. And the fact that it's all blurry is part of the motion blur of him driving off. And then when we get here, a slight dolly in to the girl. All right, let's jump into the Blender file. All right, let's jump in and talk about the lighting. The lighting is exactly the same for all the other shots in this scene, with the exception of I added this little light here to light up her face a little bit. It was hard to see her face without a little bit of a special light there. Let's take a look. So as you can see, I've called it area face light. Let's turn it off. And maybe here it doesn't show up so well, but definitely in the final render, it was making a huge difference. So let's turn that back on. Maybe it'll show up a little bit better. Well, it's hard to see here in this version, but believe me, it made a big difference as to whether or not you saw her face. Oh, look at this. Something I forgot here. Another light. Looks like I added another light to help light up the truck. Let's go back in and then we'll turn that one off. And an area light for the car. So if I turn that off, yeah, that gets really dark. I think what happened here, is this light even on? Yeah, I still have it on. Having this light be the main light illuminating this scene didn't give me what I needed. So I added an area light for the car as well. So let's go back and talk about the truck and driving off. If you remember, the truck wasn't rigged. Everything is tied to this empty. You see there's 2 keyframes for the empty, and you can just move the truck back and forth. Notice the kit isn't moving because I still can't parent a rig to my empty. Couldn't figure that out yet. So I did the same trick as before. The car has 2 keyframes. Looks like the rig has 3. I don't know why that is. They probably weren't lining up, but either way, that was the idea. Just move them both at the same time, same distance. So the fun thing you'll notice, the tires don't move on the truck. That's why I don't have them in the frame. Not only was I trying to emulate the father's shot, the only time you see the truck move, you don't see the tires, so I didn't have to animate them. So let's get that truck out of the way. And let's go into the girl here and her outfit. So to start with, the sweater, I did a tear in the mesh and the tear in the mesh here and did some sculpting to make it look disheveled. In the render view, you can see I really messed up the pattern going across the front to make it look more disheveled. And then her hair is messed up and her face, her mascara is running. The hair, I did a whole separate set of hair for her. Let's go down here. Her main hair is here, and then I duplicated the hair and then just messed it up a whole lot. So there is her hair messed up underneath just some secondary hair in order to make it look more messy. This is something, if you're doing fur or hair particle systems, it's a trick that a lot of people use. It's multiple particle systems, not just one, to get the look and feel you want for flyaway hairs and whatnot. If I was doing this again, I would probably take the sweater and add a very small particle system to it, just to make it have some flyaway fabric to make it look a little bit more realistic. So let's turn that back on. So that's her main hair that I had, and then hair messed up. So there you can see, that's just the messed up hair there. I was having a hard time making it look messed up until I added that, which worked. And then her skin texture. I just duplicated her skin texture and then added some smears and smudges for her mascara to be running. So this is basically the same setup as the last two shots. I just added a few things here and there in order to customize it for what I needed to tell the story and for the angle of the shot. And that is it for this one. Tomorrow, we'll discuss some special lighting setups, and we'll parent an object to a rig. I'll see you then.